We are in the midst of a crisis.
The opioid epidemic, it's everywhere. We didn't know of any adolescent services, and we weren't told about any adolescent services here unless they were out of state or beyond what we could afford financially. Affordable care is needed. Adolescent resources. And when you look, there's tons of options for help, 18 or above. But in this area, it's very limited.
We have to refer them either to the mountains, as we call it, to the Asheville area where there are, we sometimes have to refer them outside the state. So there's a shortage of residential adolescent detoxification programs. If somebody has an adolescent with addiction problems, the biggest thing I see is people are calling all around, what should I do? So you need to have what's called a centralized gatekeeper system. So you can call maybe regional systems, a common number. These are the resources for outpatient. These are the resources for intensive outpatient. These are the resources for residential. If you can have a coordinated system of care with that approach, I think we can make a difference.
It would be great. There was this handbook of when your daughter is 16 and the school calls that there's this concern that she's getting high. Like, it'd be great to reference what page to go to and what to do, and you just don't know. And I think one of the disadvantages is dealing with that age group of people. There are not as many resources, that are, let's say, if you were an adult.
When I was 17, I got sent to the Washington, D.C., or Arlington, Virginia program. That was the only program near me. Why? I don't know. That's pretty ridiculous if you ask me, because most addictions don't start at, 25, 30, 35 years old. They start when you're a teenager. So why are we more accepted to 18-year-olds, 19, 20, 21-year-olds, and so on? Why are we more accepted to them getting in a program and getting them help other than when it first starts off?
So through that experience, continuing to educate myself about the disease of addiction, continuing to hear other stories, be around other families that were going through similar things, it was actually laid on my heart to start a recovery high school. So recovery high school is where students who struggle with substance use, they're able to go to a high school together. They're all in recovery together. Had our son had that, then his addiction, I feel, would not have developed the way it did.
I don't really know what goes on in these recovery high schools, but I know my mom says it's just like a normal high school. You go there, you have prom, and you can do all the stuff that you did in high school. I want to say that it would help me because I would have listened to, if me and my peers were all going through the same stuff, I would have listened to them. I wouldn't have felt like an outcast, like I'm doing this by myself. So I think it definitely would have been beneficial for me.
Dealing with teenagers and young adults, they're not the easiest population to deal with. You think about it, they're emotional, they lie, they, disobedient. There may be other issues, co-occurring conditions going on. And especially if they're using drugs and alcohol, it's not like they're going to come up front and be honest about it. So I think the thing that comes into is that when you identify as this is a problem, is doing something about it, taking a proactive, approach to it, instead of continuing to live in the problem. I'm going to live in the solution.